What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Loose Ends Fantasy Football Podcast, a fantasy football podcast for average fantasy football players, hosted by who, JJ?
Average fantasy players.
Absolutely. We are back at it again like we never left, and this time we're talking about the AFC, Debbie Downers, and the positivities from both sides. But before we kick things off, are y'all ready?
We ready.
Yeah.
Sorry. I have a question
ready.
for y'all. So I read an article on the Bleacher Report, and they did a very fun thing where they asked about each team, and you were allowed to give one sentence about each team given where they're at right now in the season. So I want to go ahead and do that with you guys right now. You get one sentence about each team.
Each
Okay?
NFL team.
Each NFL team. Not about our fantasy teams. That's
I was
easy.
like, I'll shit on this team.
Yeah, no. So it'll be about each NFL team. You get one sentence. And it's going to be quick. Don't think about it too much. First thing that comes to mind, hit me with it. We're going to start with JJ. We'll move to Shmi. We'll go back and forth in that order, okay?
Shit, okay.
JJ, we're going to start with the Arizona Cardinals.
Ooh, disappointing.
Ooh, that's the word I was going to use. Yeah.
Perfect. Let's stick with one word. I said one sentence, but I like one word. Let's keep it with one word. Shmi, what do you got?
That was the one I was going to go with. I'll go underwhelming.
Ooh,
Okay.
Underwhelming.
Atlanta Falcons.
Well, here, let me look at these scores.
It's going to be. I'm going to give JJ
okay.
the opportunity each. He's going to give the first go every time.
Okay. I don't know if we're going
Unless you want to go snake draft, your choice.
Snake draft.
JJ, should we go snake draft?
Yeah, go for it.
All right,
Snake
Shmi,
draft.
Atlanta Falcons.
Surprising.
Okay. JJ.
Not there yet. It's a phrase, I guess.
Okay. We could do that. We'll keep it a sentence or a word, whatever you guys want to do.
Sorry.
JJ, to you, Baltimore Ravens, your favorite team.
Beatable.
Okay. Shmi, Baltimore Ravens.
Dangerous.
Ooh, okay. Shmi, still on you, the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills.
Ooh,
I say favorites. I still think favorites.
Ooh.
Yeah.
JJ, Bills.
Elite.
Okay. JJ, Panthers.
Ooh. Rebuilding.
Okay. Shmi,
Clown. Circus. Whatever. Circus. Let's go circus.
Circus. All right,
Yeah.
Shmi, Duh Bears.
Fudge.
Got it. All right. And JJ, the Bears.
The Bears. Polish sausages.
Yeah.
I want to see who.
That's gets the best.
I'm
thing
excited
about
to see who they hire next for the head coach.
Great. The Bengals, JJ.
Bengals.
Ooh. They need to trade T for a defensive player, but they can't now, can they?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Oops.
Shmi, Bengals.
Out. Yeah,
Ooh.
they're out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Browns, Shmi.
Oof.
Bears of the AFC North.
Good
Bears
one.
of the North.
Bears of the North.
JJ, the Browns.
I got you.
They're monster slayers, little fuckers.
Okay.
Trap game.
Cowboys, JJ.
Ooh. Looking for management.
Shmi, Cowboys.
You get the help wanted sign.
Shmi, Broncos.
Yeah, they're spinning that bitch with the arrow and shit.
The Broncos, I would say, I already said surprising, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
For the Falcons.
for the Falcons, I want to say, I don't know a lot of synonyms, but I mean, they're in
I
it.
got this one.
They're in it, yeah.
JJ, who you got? Broncos.
Underdogs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
All right.
7-5.
Lions, JJ.
Ooh, these are the Giants. They are. I mean, like they are massive. I think they're the best. team in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Shmi.
I'd say favorites.
Yeah.
I'd say favorites.
You already
yeah.
said that.
No, did
The
I?
Green Bay Packers. Yeah, you said the favorites for the Bills too.
Well, that's AFC. I think Lions win it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers. Shmi.
Champions.
NFC
what?
chance?
There's better than everybody. Fuck you.
In our hearts. Okay.
I mean,
I'll give you this. I think that there's a route for the Lions and Packers to be in the NFC Championship.
Okay. That was pandering. The Texans. JJ.
Pander Bear. The Texans?
Yeah.
Overrated.
Good.
Overrated.
Shmi. Texans.
Bye week division.
I was gonna go with suspect or fraud.
Yeah, same. Like they have nobody to go against, so they just get an automatic playoff bid.
Shmi. The Colts.
Let down, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
JJ.
I'm gonna say stay tuned.
All right, JJ. Your Jags.
Ooh. Clean house. Clean house.
Shmi.
Disappointments.
All new coaching,
I went with confused.
Yeah. Disappoint. Yeah.
Shmi. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Fire Doug Peterson.
Kansas City Chiefs. No three-peat.
Okay. JJ.
Super Bowl bound.
I went with just good enough.
Yeah.
Because
their defense is gonna.
Yeah.
JJ. Miami Dolphins.
Fucking annoying. I want to say Dark Horse.
Good. Okay.
I think they're a Dark Horse team.
Safety helmet.
Shmi, Minnesota.
Aggravatingly good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I want to stop here for one thing because I do want to comment on that. I think it's got to be very frustrating being the Detroit Lions, coming from the drought that they've had for all these years, being the number one team, and then watching a team that's supposed to be in a rebuild mode just fuck around with Sam Darnold and be in the contention to win the division. It has to be infuriating as a fan base.
You're 10-1, and you are like a week or two away from not being number one. Like,
literally,
what?
like you could still lose this division on a bad week because they fucked around and picked up Sam Darnold by accident.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go. JJ, did you give me the Vikings? What do you have?
Ooh, for the Vikings, I think deep playoff run.
I went sleeper. JJ, Eagles.
Ooh. I want to say like maybe number 1 seed in the NFC.
Okay.
Or maybe number 2 next to the Lions.
Shmi. Eagles.
Yeah, 2.
Eagles.
Oh, yeah, I say playoff bound. 100%. Yeah, playoff bound.
Okay.
I think
Shmi, Buccaneers.
Entertaining, I guess. Would be yeah.
I put fun. Same thing.
Yeah, fun.
JJ.
Oh, the Bucks. I'm gonna say growing up because they got some young guys that are fucking nasty.
JJ, the Los Angeles Rams.
Ooh. I'm gonna do a WWE reference and go Undertaker.
Okay.
I really know what that means, but
Shmi.
It just like fucking comes back from the dead because they were all injured. That's kind of what I was referring.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
Jesus.
Oh no. What just happened?
Man, I don't know.
I lost my screen. No, I would say trains on the track.
Okay.
They're gonna turn it around.
Yeah, they just got demolished by Philly, but sure.
I mean it's Philly. That's what we just said was number 1 possible in the NFC.
Seahawks, Shmi.
False Kings. of the NFC West.
Okay.
They're number one.
JJ? Seahawks.
Trying to think. Young Bucks. That's what I want to say.
Okay.
Except for
The
Geno, he's always
49ers.
Oh,
JJ.
injuries. Injuries have been the fucking story for that team.
Me, 49ers.
Hopeful.
I put the end is near.
End is not.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. We had a conversation. I don't know if it was last episode.
Last episode, yeah.
I do feel like you're right in what you're thinking. Like they will have some cap issues. I really do think that Kyle Shanahan is fighting for his job this season.
I'm fighting for my life.
I'm fighting over here.
And get R. Kelly.
I get like Marky Mark, like Mark Wahlberg, bro.
The Chargers. JJ.
Ooh. Young Stunners. Bro,
Me?
Shit, that Young Stunners threw me off. But future. Yeah, I'll go.
I went with hungry.
Ooh,
Steelers. Shmee.
Defensive reliant.
JJ.
Heartbreakers.
Heartbreaker.
I went with one word in the most. It sounds disrespectful, but it is in the nicest way possible. I went with cockroach.
Yeah, okay.
You can't do anything to them. They're always going to be there. You can't kill them. You can't kill them. You could destroy the quarterback. You can do everything. It doesn't matter. You can't do anything to them.
Yeah.
Let's go Tennessee. JJ.
Okay, I like this one. If they finish, if they finish bottom 5 in the league, draft a quarterback.
Okay. Shmee.
Garbage.
Yeah. I went with stagnant. Yeah. If they don't draft a quarterback, I think you're just going to see this continued plateau for them.
They need receivers too, so it's kind of
the Commanders.
On Burke.
Shmee, Commanders.
Ooh, they got a bright future. The rookie QB, dominating.
JJ. Commanders.
What are they? What, number 2 right now? They're number 2 in that division.
On their way up, but not quite there.
On the come up.
5 left. The Patriots, JJ.
Tomorrow's a better day.
Drake May's legit.
He is legit.
I think.
Yeah.
Shmee.
We got to get an offensive line for that, man.
Yeah.
Shmee, New England.
They're in the rebuild.
Okay. Shmee, Saints.
Dead.
Ooh. Okay. JJ, Saints.
Yeah. Ready to rebuild.
Okay.
We can fix it.
Sorry, JJ, Giants.
Oh. Fire sale. Burn that bitch down. Get rid of Dabo. Get rid of everybody.
I say problematic.
Yeah, I put dumpster fire organization.
Yeah, there you go. We're all in agreement.
Here we are.
The
Jets, Shmee.
Bruh. That's it. Just bruh. In a set like that.
That's all I had to say. The Jets.
You have a solid defense. You have Aaron Rodgers. What the fuck is going on?
Oopsie. That's all I can think. Like, oops.
Yeah. Poor decisions.
Yeah.
Last but not least, or kind of least, the Raiders. JJ, Raiders.
Number 1 pick, Shedeur Sanders.
Ooh. Okay. Shmee, Raiders.
My Friday night. It's just
Blackout
a shit
fights?
show. Just a shit. I don't get in fights. I'm a lovey-dovey guy. Just a shit show.
Yeah. I can't say enough bad things about the Raiders. Just a bad organization in general. They make bad decisions. They make bad choices. But let's move directly. I'm glad we had that little fun
Shader.
game for us. Let's talk about the AFC. We're doing the positivities right now. I'm going to kick us off right away with the high note from the AFC side of the house this week. Going quarterback, Mr. Tua Tagovailoa. Mr. Safety Helmet himself, 26.5 fantasy points, went 29 for 40, 317 yards, and 4 tutties. Man was possessed. They come to see our beloved Green Bay Packers next week, who are not as near as forgiving as the strugglesome New England team Miami just faced. Also, sometimes QBs just have a team's number, and Tua seems to have New England's number as he has yet to lose to New England, and it showed as they were firing on all cylinders on Sunday for him. So, congrats to Tua. He was my positivity high note quarterback for the week. JJ, who do you got for QB side?
QB side for the JJ. That's me. I got Bo Nix, baby. Denver Broncos rookie quarterback. This man has been on a tear. 18.42 fantasy points, 25 completions on 42 attempts, 273 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns. Still seems like every week I'm like just blown away by Bo Nix. He is incredible, man. I think the combination or the relationship he has with Sean Payton is a very productive one. Not just on the field, but for fantasy too. I mean, we talked about how you think that Bo Nix has, he has all the accolades for rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year, right? I actually went and looked at it. I saw that Bo Nix has 2 top 3 finishes. Jaden Daniels has 3 top 3 finishes.
That's a close race. Close race.
We talked about it last episode. It is a close race.
Should have taken Bo Nix.
I didn't say this last episode, but I wanted to plug it here if that's okay. Top 5 finishes for Jaden Daniels, 4. Top 5 finishes for Bo Nix, 2. And then top 10 finishes but actually Bo Nix has 5 top 10 finishes overall. So Jaden Daniels was finished quarterback 3 in week 1, quarterback 3 in week 3, quarterback 5 in week 4, and then week 12, quarterback 1. First time he was quarterback 1 in his career for fantasy. And then Bo Nix was quarterback 8 in week 5 against Las Vegas Raiders. Week 6 against the Chargers, he was quarterback 9. Week 8, quarterback 2 against the Panthers. Week 11, quarterback 3 against the Atlanta Falcons. Week 12, quarterback 6 against the Raiders. So he does really have a case, I think, not just from like the field, but also.
Yeah, I mean, he's QB7 overall, I think, right?
I think if we got to pick a fantasy offensive rookie of the year, I think there would be an awesome debate in the league between Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels.
The hard part with a fantasy offensive rookie of the year is it's strictly stat based. You just look at the stats and go, "This guy scored more done."
Yeah. Yeah.
What if it was? What if we did judge it on not just that, but also if Jaden helped you get to a championship or win a championship?
So if you're saying the manager was bad enough to not draft a better team around Jaden, so he MVP'd your team?
I'm saying like we vote on like how well the team did in like the manner of like college football fucking voting would. Like football. Yeah, exactly. Things like that.
That'd be tough to do. I mean, we could analytic it out, but
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm sure we could sit down and
I love that shit.
Rain Man it. Of course you do.
Boxer Briefs.
The analytic guy.
Touch me and shit.
Definitely Boxer Briefs.
Shmee, go ahead and hit us with your QB happy face from the AFC side of the house this week.
I went with Patrick Mahomes, 23.8 points, 3 touchdowns, 269 yards, game-winning drive, led by his legs, giving him 60 on the ground. But honorable mention, Will Levis was good. I know you said this because he scored under 10 fantasy points, but
he had 8 fantasy points.
I watched the game. He went 11 for 11, had like 107 yards or something like that.
Yeah,
he threw a pick 6.
Okay.
He threw a pick 6 and had 8 fantasy points. This is a fantasy show. You're talking about a guy who had 8 fantasy points and threw a pick 6.
But did he win?
Go fuck yourself.
He threw
But
one
he won.
interception. It was a pick six, but
Sidebar, not relevant for fantasy.
18 and 24, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he still had a 123.2 passer rating. That was the nugget I was
How
looking
many
at.
fantasy points did he have?
I think he had some.
He had
He
8.
had 8 fantasy points, dude.
In my defense, he got sacked 8 times, so he lost like 16 points.
I'm sorry.
Get
So
out
you're
the
telling
way.
me this was your happy face, the guy who got sacked 8 times and threw a pick 6?
If I'm a Titans fan, that's better than week 1 through 3.
Where's the fucking challenge flag? Throw 7 of these challenge flags because we have a dumbass right now.
I didn't say he was good for the NFL. I'm saying if you're a Titans fan, that was a good look for him.
You know how bad you have to be for someone to come out publicly and say this was a good week for you?
Yeah, Bears fan.
Yeah. Jeez Louise. Thank you. All the flags. But
Wait, get that rainbow one out.
Let's move over to something smarter from the Titans side of the house. Move over to the running back side.
Oh, yeah.
This one actually makes sense.
Oh, yeah. I had Tony Pollard splashing some hope in the fantasy realm. Not a bad season,
Pour that shit on. Pour the hope on.
but it is his first time cracking the top 10 for RBs. 119 yards on the ground with 1 trip to pay dirt, 3 catches for a measly 10 yards.
Which is interesting. JJ, where does he rank right now for running backs on the season?
Who am I talking about?
He's having not a horrible season.
He's having a great year, but he's cracked the top 10 once.
Who are we talking
Tony
about?
Pollard.
I want to say
Tony Pollard.
16, maybe?
I'm sorry. I can't hear right now. All right.
Tony Pollard.
I'm looking it up. God damn it.
Little Tony
is
Pollard.
Running back 20.
20.
He has scored 154.8 fantasy points. He's
Interesting.
played in 11 games. So
Okay.
he's played in every game.
Yeah, but he's
He had 21.9. Oh, shit. Are you talking about him?
Yeah, his lowest games 4.9, 8.5, 5.9. Everything else has been right around 15 and up, roughly. And then this week 22.
It's okay, Shmi. We're gonna bring your spirits back up. JJ, go ahead and talk about your happy face running back.
My happy face running
I
back
like my spirits.
is a Dolphin. Devon H.A. Ooh, 10 rushes, only 32 yards on the ground, but 3 catches, 4 targets, for 24 receiving yards. And not just that 24 receiving yards, you might say, oh, that's not shit. Well, actually, this mother clucker had 2 touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns. That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
This guy, he's such a good receiving back. He's like the best receiving back in the NFL. Running back
So good.
number 7 on the week. And running back 6 on the season. That's pretty crazy. That worked out. Been pretty efficient on the ground, but the most fantasy points we see from him are through the air. Like we said, he's a great receiving running back. This is the second time this season that he's had 2 touchdowns, but this is the first time he's had 2 receiving touchdowns. The last time he had 2 touchdowns, it was a receiving and a rushing touchdown. But heading toward the fantasy playoffs, kind of worried about it. I want to talk to you guys and see what you think. I mean, they're 2 weeks away, but we're talking about the next 5 weeks, right, to close out the season. Green Bay week 13, New York Jets 14, Houston 15, San Francisco 16, Cleveland 17. So I don't know how I like that for Devon Achane, but hey, he's playing fantastic. It's good to see Tua back. Tua is firing on all cylinders. Like Blake said, that is his QB happy face. So I love Devon Achane. I think he's amazing. I know. Did we talk about the trade for Achane yet?
Nope.
We did not.
Are we waiting to bring that up?
We're waiting for Blake's pick because okay.
Oh, okay. Let's bring it up.
Yeah. I figure Blake's pick ties right into it. So.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and talk about my running back. I'm going to go ahead and give me the karma-fueled Nick Chubb.
There we go.
Because somebody told me during some trade discussions that he doesn't even have a hint of usability.
Yeah,
and then,
Jesse.
lo and behold, against his team, Nick Chubb has 21 touches and finishes with 19 fantasy points, including 2 teddies, RB8 on the day. It was a fine day for Mr. Chubb. Even if he was under the 3 yards per carry mark, it was a great boost for his game to boost his marketability for the trade markets for some folks. Now, let's talk about that trade.
Oh, yeah. Garbage. Trying to give me a guy that's got Forrest Gump legs for
Okay.
Devon Achane, who's...
And hang on. You're
Don't
talking
even
about a
give me
one-for-one
picks.
trade.
Yeah, and don't even talk about the picks.
Then a first-round pick, a 202, and another second-round pick early.
All of this year or for future years?
The 202 is of this year.
There you go.
Then a next year early second, and then a next year early first.
Yeah. That does mean nothing. I don't trust the
hang on.
The draft process.
Before you say it, you don't trust yourself. That's what you're saying.
We had this discussion offline where
we did.
I drafted pretty solidly the last 2-3 years. So right. I do good, but I don't like it. I would rather take my 22-year-old running back who's been crushing it, even though he played half the year last year. He's still a solid running back for the year. I think he was top 25 maybe last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to keep him versus Nick Chubb, who's not Derrick Henry.
The layman's terms that we can put it in, which is always funny, and it's the curiosity comes into play. The 202, which I don't know what the 202 was this year.
Maybe McConkey-ish?
No, McConkey went
110?
Earlier, I think. He might have gone 110. He did go 110.
110.
I took him 110. JJ, I think.
Devon Achane was the running back 24 last year, yeah.
24. And he played, half the season?
Yeah, he played 11 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That 50 burger helped.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just curious. No. That's okay. It makes me feel very good when Mark Andrews scores touchdowns, so I'm very okay with that.
Yeah, well, we both knew that was going to happen.
The game.
But,
damn it.
What I wanted to talk about is an early 104. I just went and moved and got the 104, right? Yeah. So even if it was the 104, I went and got Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. So any one of those guys, Malik Neighbors, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr., you plug in any one of those guys. Great. Take the year before, Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs,
Porta.
Anthony Richardson. Nope, he wasn't.
Garbage.
Anthony Richardson. JSN. That was the first four, who is now quietly breaking out.
Yeah.
You take any of those four guys, and then you talk about the 202, who, again, now we're talking about a Zay Flowers. We're talking about a Sam Laporta type guy. We're talking about one of those guys. You're talking about Devon Achane, those type of guys who are coming in the first half of the second round. That's two of those guys, plus a Nick Chubb type running back, which you obviously, I get you're in a position right now where you don't need in a playoff contending type back, plus a first round pick. Now, if you were not a playoff contending team and you were a team building for the future, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Now, in your position, I can understand why you wouldn't have. But for our listeners, when we're talking the trade value and things like that, this is why we always bring up, hey, if you're in a position playoff contention-wise, it changes the way you look at a trade versus if I'm trying to build for the future. That's where picks and stuff start to matter. But if you're in playoff contention, you're not trying to get rid of a dude who's going off right now for future capital. Why would you sacrifice your current future or your current eligibility, I guess?
But Achane also outscored Chubb this week. So
he did. He's going to continue to outscore Chubb.
Oh, yeah.
I would say, could you use Devon Achane to maybe level up to a different running back?
That's a great question.
A Saquon?
Wait, now here's the thing. You're leveling up to a 28-year-old?
Saquon's different.
See, this is what I wanted to see. I think you could use a Devon Achane and go get a Gibbs or a Bijan, but you got to throw in some picks.
I'm not going after Bijan. I traded him to Blake. I'm not going to go after him again.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying for everybody else.
Trying to get an idea where
But here's the thing right now with Jahmyr, Devon Achane is outscoring Jahmyr. In the fantasy realm, he's better than Jahmyr.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about a level up, I mean, Devon Achane is what? RB7 right now.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people above him.
Well, Jameer Gibbs is running back 4, and then Devon
Oh,
Achane
he
is running
is.
back 6. Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
was gonna say, I
they're
think
neck
I
and
didn't
that
realize
neck.
that Jameer
Jameer
Gibbs was
Gibbs is
that high.
scoring more points per game than Devon Achane
I
is.
mean, he's got to be.
For sure, yeah.
Let me look
Yeah.
at this. I don't
And
trust
then
Let
you.
me
once
take a
David
look.
Montgomery's, I mean, Jameer Gibbs is dirty.
I mean, if David Montgomery misses time, whew, I'm gonna hate
that's
myself so
disgusting.
much
But all
for
right, we
giving
talked
him
a lot about
fucking
that. We still
JSN
want to
against.
keep this moving.
Yep.
I want to move down to the wide receiver side of the house. I talked about Tua Tagovailoa. He had a fantastic game, which means he had to throw the ball to somebody, and I'm very excited to say Jalen Waddle's name for the first time in a long time.
For the first time in
Because
forever.
until this game, he was a massive disappointment on the season. This was an emergence for him, and I'm happy to see it, finishing the day with 28.4 fantasy points on 8 catches for 144 yards and a touchdown. Now, it seems like everyone in the Miami offense was eating in this game, so I wouldn't expect this game to be a breakout of any sort, but it was still exciting to see him back in the action because we haven't said his name a lot this year. So Jalen Waddle was my happy face of the week this week. So JJ, kick us on over to your wide receiver happy face of the week.
Bubs, this is someone we've talked about quite a bit, and it's someone that I'm like really proud of. I'm so happy for. I'm talking about Cortland Sutton, Denver Broncos. Well, we talked about Bo Nix and how he's playing great, but we got to talk about how he's playing great because he's throwing to some fucking awesome receivers. Well, I like to see Cortland Sutton, baby. Wide receiver 9 on the season, had 29.7 fantasy points, catching 8 of his 10 targets, 97 yards receiving, and not just one, but 2 tutties, baby. Count 1, 2. The 29-year-old breakout for Sutton has been beautiful, and I love it. Mwah, enjoyable. It's chef's kiss, baby. This is by far his best season, his best fantasy finish being wide receiver 19, and that was in his second season. He is now in his, I think he's in his 9th season.
I don't know. He's quietly doing the most this year, and we love.
He's in his he's in his 7th season. I'm sorry, Cortland. He's 29 years old, but yeah, he was wide receiver 19 in 2019. So he is doing great. Wide receiver 9. Wow. Never would have fucking guessed it, to be honest with you. But hey, the Broncos have surprised us all, and it's coming through Bo Nix, who, offensive rookie of the year kind of did, and Sutton, man. Been fantastic. And, I love to see it because Sutton has been through so much shit. Think about it. All the coaching changes, quarterback changes, you name it. He's been through all of that shit. Ownership changes. I think he's been there that long. Has he been a Bronco his whole career? Yeah, he has. Hey, man, dedicated. Yeah. So, and, how many times have we heard him as a possible trade candidate? But I got to say, I'm super proud of him. He's averaging right now, by the way, 8 targets a game. I'll take that. I would love that. Love it. I would try to get him, but no, not for me, not for sale. DJ.
What is this?
What do you got for wide receiver?
I got Jacoby Myers of the god awful Raiders. Sorry, mommy, but not really.
Of the gosh darn Raiders.
God awful, gosh darn them. The absence of Devontae finally gives him a chance to shine bright. 22 points bright. 15 targets, 10 catches. Not the best catch percentage, but he got 121 yards, no touchdowns. He's only got 2 on the year, so that kind of hurts. You can't really blame him because that organization is just atrocious.
Dumpster fire.
Yeah, and now they're about to have some guy that throws peanuts to fans probably be their quarterback. Probably be the same result.
Absolutely. Move us over right away to the tight end.
My cousin, brother from another mother. Jonnu Smith.
Wrong.
Yeah, whatever. What do you mean wrong? No, Jonnu Smith.
Things is not like the other.
Yeah, I know. But when you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, your looks are going to be few and far between. Not so much today. 11 targets, 9 catches, 87 yards. 1 touchdown, 23.7 fantasy points. And then my honorable mention was Chigakongo.
Don't do it.
Who had 1 target for 1 catch and 70 yards and a tutty. 16 points.
All right. Hey, JJ, why don't you talk about your tight end?
Why did you put... Oh, you put him too?
I tried. Well, I tried to get you to stop.
Well, you should read the fucking
I'm
script.
going on the fly. I did read the script. It wasn't there before you fucking put that shit in there.
I filled
You said
mine
out.
before you
I
did.
might have changed it. All right, hang on.
Oh, yeah.
You put it as an honorable mention, so it's not highlighted, so he probably didn't see it.
I didn't
okay.
see it. If you did do that.
Do you have Chico Congo for Tennessee?
He 100%
Yeah.
does.
I see it right now, yeah.
Okay, I'll go to Cade Stover. How about that?
There you go.
That's a good one.
Because it kind of relates to my. Oh wait, we're doing AFC, right?
Yep.
Okay, so not bad. I think 13.6 fantasy points. Played 36% of the snaps, 4 targets, 3 receptions. He was the tight end 11 on the week, which that's okay. But he scored 13.6 fantasy points for a tight end. We like it. Okay, got a touchdown as well. Kind of an interesting dynamic there with Dalton Schultz, who we will talk about in the next segment. But I really do like Cade Stover. He was someone I like coming out of Ohio State, the Ohio State. Who went to Ohio State that you guys love? AJ. You guys like AJ? AJ Hawk on the Pat McAfee show. It's AJ, right?
I don't like him on the Pat McAfee show. I like Pat.
Yeah.
I like AJ, dude. AJ's a fucking nutball.
He's slowly getting more involved.
Oh, he's on there every day.
No, I mean, yeah, he's on there.
He's there.
He's stoic.
He exists.
But he's talking more. I like the shit he says is golden too.
Yeah,
but anyway, yes, Cade Stover, 24 years old. Yeah, he's 54% rostered in sleeper. Go take a look at him. Jesus, that's the last time I plug a fucking Packer player for you guys. Jesus Christ.
He's a great Packer, but
like that reaction
for the McAfee show, he's
booty.
Bad podcaster.
I've been watching it. I've been enjoying it because they were in Columbus, Ohio, because old boy went to Ohio State. That's why I fucking brought him up.
Yeah, because we love Ohio State.
Yeah,
Wisconsin
all day.
All right. That was the tight end position. For me, I went with Noah Gray. Who is this guy? He's been quietly lurking in Travis Kelce's shadow for a minute, but these last few weeks, 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks. Finishing last week with 18.3 fantasy points, and now this week with 22.6 fantasy points on 4 catches for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's seeing the targets now. The question is, does this sustain? Are we seeing a new tight end in Kansas City? Why does Kansas City play the mind games? These are questions we need the answers to, okay? Where is Travis Kelce gone?
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys something?
Yeah, go ahead before, yeah.
Where do you think Kelce's ranked in tight ends?
This year?
Yeah. Do you know?
I'm going to say 14.
18.
He's the number 4 tight end on the season.
4?
That makes sense.
Is it like how many touchdowns?
He had 89% of the snaps, and he had 8 targets.
He's been doing his thing, but
but Noah had 2 touchdowns. That's where we for fantasy, right? We're like, shit. Travis has been getting the touchdowns, man. He's got 2 touchdowns in the season. That ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, but we saw it with Trey McBride. You don't need the touchdowns.
Yeah,
well, that's right. Look, number 3 and number 4, they ain't got a lot of touchdowns.
Kate Otten.
Yeah,
just got a lot of catches. That's all.
A lot of targets, a lot of receptions. That's all that matters. Especially with a down year. I will repeatedly say it. A down year for tight ends. All you gotta do is catch the ball now. That's it. Look at Jonnu Smith. All you gotta do is catch the ball.
Hey man.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
How do you pick Chig? He had 1 catch.
My IDP.
I had a whole spiel, but you fucking ruined it, you dickhead.
Yeah, because he sucks.
Because you don't read the goddamn script.
You wrote it after I got out.
IDP for this week was Nick Cross, my dog. I always have good things to say about him, and this week is no different. Finished the week with 14 tackles, 26 points. This is a guy who flies around the field. My only issue with him is his week 14 bye. That's my only problem with Nick Cross. Otherwise, he's been a set and forget for me. It's crazy to me that he still only started in 77% of leagues, considering that he's the number 1 DB right now. However, question for the peanut gallery. Is it safe to say that most people who are hosting IDP leagues are just playing flex positions? They're not actually starting positional players for IDPs.
Say that one more time.
I would agree with I think that would be safe. Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that when people are playing IDP type leagues, they're not using positional IDPs. They just have flexes for IDPs.
Yeah, there's no line. Yeah.
The other 2 leagues that I know that have IDPs, They have 3 IDP positions, and they're all flex. They don't have a DB, D-line, linebacker position. They just have 3 flex positions.
I read this weird article that said they had 7. IDP was like the standard.
But is it
So it
all
was
flex
like
positions, or is
it
it?
was 2 D line,
There we
2
go.
linebacker, 2 DB, and then a flex IDP.
Ooh.
That's what I was talking about. That's another thing I want to actually bring up to vote on. I'm gonna write that down.
That's interesting.
How do you feel about that, Blake? You hate that?
I don't. I don't
You
like
don't
it.
like it?
I don't like
No.
it because you have 3 people here who you have 2.5 people here who care about researching and finding players that matter, but we don't have a league that is that in depth enough yet. I think by entertaining that, you're only going to separate us further in the league.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you get the guys like
Yeah.
D Judge and Gildo and those guys. You're only going to separate us further from those guys by adding more positional players like that really need the research. I think that's my own opinion.
I don't think so. I'll say this. I mean, we broke down the records for everybody in the league. I do think it's kind of close once again. It was close last year, you know? Like all the way down to 8th place. It's pretty close right now because Monte can still get in. But I'm just saying, like, with it being so close, I just thought that adding more players, especially with how much we enjoy the IDPs. Yeah, you're right. I mean, for someone like yourself, you're going to go get more IDPs than the best ones. I know that. But, like, I just enjoy it because how many IDPs are we talking about every week that aren't on a team? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just
I
saying, like,
agree.
we can put those guys on a team now.
If you moved to 7, we would have to increase rosters as well.
Right. Yeah, we're already at 35.
Because you're increasing it by 4 positions. You'd have to increase rosters by 5 positions. So now you
Okay.
have a 40-man roster.
Good Lord. We may as well just move it to 53 and just fucking start an actual team. I don't do that. That was
Hey,
Like, I don't know how you give linemen fantasy points.
pancakes. Pan clocks. I can't
Pan
carry.
All right. And we're going to move down to JJ, your IDP of the week.
My IDP of the week is none other than Daniil Hunter. He was a motherfucking hunter, dude. Is that correct or incorrect? What did you say?
That's very correct.
That's correct.
Shmi's an idiot.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
37 fantasy points in a loss. 7 tackles, 3 sacks. My man.
My man.
Daniil was an absolute terror on the field, guys. He had 3 of the team's 8 sacks on poor Will Levis, like you mentioned earlier in the show, who somehow, despite having spent most of the game on the ground, was able to put this team in a position to win the game, like you said. 32-27. Pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah.
Will Levis sucks for fantasy, but somehow got a win there. Doesn't deserve it. Tony Pollard, thank you. A game the Texans lost more than the Titans won, but Hunter was a force, and 3 sacks in one day is a moneymaker for fantasy, baby. That's why we got 37 points. Look for Gino to have a great performance next week against the Jags before the Texans go on bye in Week 14.
I am
Shmi, close us out with the IDPs.
So glad he left the Vikings. Hey, Jesse, do you know who this guy is? Miles Garrett. 3 sacks, forced fumble, 31 fantasy points against the Steelers. But I assume was only a high school offensive line. And he handed the Steelers their surprising 3rd loss. Oh, you threw a flag because Miles Garrett hit your quarterback too many times?
No, my offensive line sucks, Dick.
The only bad thing I can say is you guys have a Wisconsin Badger, so that hurts a little bit to say. But
we have a couple.
He is one of 2 game-wrecking D linemen in that game. But in the NFL that you have to scheme for, and I don't think you guys did that at all.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, and he's like, all right.
But that was our happy face side of the house. JJ, do you have any questions for us? Because if you don't, I have one question.
Ooh.
You go for it. Actually, I don't have anything prepared.
All right. I have a trivia question for you guys.
Oh no.
Ooh.
There is one quarterback who is still active, I believe. I believe he's still active.
I believe.
Don't quote me on that. But he has played for he has played for 14 NFL teams. Do you know who it is?
14 NFL teams.
Correct.
Holy shit.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. You may or may not know it. If you don't know it off the bat, he's a quarterback.
Fitzpatrick.
Incorrect.
Josh Dobbs.
Ooh, so close. Incorrect.
Oh. Yeah, I wanted to say Flacco because he's
Josh
old,
Rosen.
Incorrect. His name is Josh Johnson.
Yeah, I never would have got there.
Came in the league in 2009. Played for Tampa Bay, San Francisco, Cleveland, Cincinnati, the Jets, the Colts, the Bills, the Ravens, the Giants, the Texans, the Raiders. I don't know if they were the Commanders yet, but the Redskins in 2018, the Lions, the Broncos, and then now is currently a backup on the Ravens.
Oh.
Not only that, in between those games, he was playing in different professional leagues, like Canadian leagues, things like that. So he was playing. He at one point in time played for the San Diego Fleet, things like that. He played for 24 professional teams since 2009.
What the
Jesus?
That's insanity.
That is insane. That's awesome.
Give it up, man.
I have a surprise question for you guys for once.
Oh. One more time before the reason this came up is I saw the interview with him.
Uh-oh.
What's crazier is they asked him about it and he was able to tell them what team, what month, and what year he was there, like when he left. So he was able to calculate his timeline for every team, all 24 of them.
Wow.
I can't.
And they called
that.
him out. Yeah. They called him out and he was like, I missed one. No. And then they were like, oh, yeah, you missed the San Diego Fleet. And he's like, wrong. They signed me this date. I never showed up to practice, never put pads on. It didn't count. I ended up getting signed by the Commanders at this point in time and going to suit up for them. Like, he knew everything. It was crazy.
Is that McVay memory?
I don't know. It was nuts. But, Shmi, send us over to your question. I'm excited.
There is one NFL team that is leading their division with negative net points. So they've given up more points than they've scored.
It's the Steelers.
Is it the Steelers?
I would have told Jesse he was right, but no.
I was going to say, kicking field goals doesn't win you games, right?
Let me see where the Steelers are actually on it before I. Steelers are plus 66.
Oh wow.
Okay. Is it a South team?
It is a South team.
Which one are you picking, Blake? I want to pick one.
Is it Houston?
It is not Houston. They are plus 17.
Oh, I was close.
It's close.
JJ, who you got?
What was the question again? I don't want to sound like an idiot.
Only team to lead their division with negative net points.
Is it the Saints? Oh shit!
Saints,
the Falcons.
Saints are plus 2.
Ooh, they're close.
They're very close.
It's the Falcons.
Falcons 6-5, negative 30.
That's
crazy. Shit.
Yeah. Tampa Bay's plus 36, Saints plus 2, Panthers negative 146.
Holy shit.
Negative 146 is asinine.
Yeah, I just saw that and I'm like, how are you winning your division and you don't score more points overall? But yeah. And then you have AFC East is the most hilarious one. Bills are plus 106, Dolphins negative 21, Jets negative 38, Patriots negative 85.
Oh my god!
So that's by
love
week.
To see it. We are going to take a break right here before we come back with our negative Nancy, Debbie Downer, sad Susies of the AFC this week. We'll be right back. And we are going into the disappointments for the week. I'm going to kick things off with Mr. CJ Stroud because I continue to bring him up on these bad games because of all the hype he got coming into this season. And we are just seeing flat performance after flat performance. 20 for 33, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 4 sacks. I've watched his last few games a couple of times. It's still confusing Because how do you have an offensive line that allows Joe Mixon to rush for 100+ yards 6 times this season, yet CJ is second in the league for most sacks taken, only behind dog shit Caleb Williams? CJ is trying to do too much. And the question that I have is, are we finally seeing this Patrick Mahomes magic era start to fizzle out with all these guys that we're seeing? Because it seems like guys who are trying to do more instead of taking the smart play are the guys that are struggling the most. CJ, Caleb, Kyler, Pat, Levis, Bryce Young, etc. Right? We're seeing all these guys that are trying to do so much with the play, and we're not seeing the success come from it. Now, we've seen some fantasy success, but the team success is just not coming. What do we think from that, boys?
I think that's a really interesting perspective, actually. I haven't looked at it that way. But I think you're absolutely right.
The conversation had come up with Peyton Manning, right? His first year where he still holds the record for the most interceptions thrown from a rookie season. And they said that the number one thing they talked to him about was take the easy play, take the smart play. And then he turned around and look what he's done. An MVP, a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever do it. Why is nobody taking these rookie quarterbacks, these sophomore quarterbacks aside and saying, hey, look, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
I understand what you did in college. You were able to do all these things. This is the NFL. It's a different level. Step back, make the smart play. Use the check down, use your tight end, pick the out route, pick the slant. I don't understand.
This might be a little sidetrack, but do you think that's kind of what Shane Steichen has done with Anthony Richardson a little bit? Sitting him down for a week? It was essentially a week, right?
It's 2.
I don't know. I think
I
Anthony
think it might be.
Richardson, I don't know if it's what he sat him down to do, but I think Anthony Richardson's struggle is being coachable in general.
Okay.
Or being at the
Is that something you
level
read, or?
to be coached.
I
No,
mean, I think there are moments when he looks amazing. He had some great plays this week, but he didn't do well for
there's
fantasy.
no doubt that he's an incredible talent. There's no doubt that he has all the tools to be a beast.
It's going to be
But this is a
patience
different
with him.
level. A lot of it is going to be a mental game for him and learning to perform at this speed, at this level mentally.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have the experience at any level, much less at the NFL level.
Right.
And one of the things that has been often talked about, and I hate to quote him, but Tom Brady said it best in an interview. He said in college, they were creating quarterbacks, right? They were teaching systematic quarterbacks. So they were growing up in the system. Now they're not. These quarterbacks
Yeah, they were on the line calling plays instead of in the huddle.
They were doing things. They were learning the system, and now they're getting to the NFL and having to learn it at this level. That's a tough thing to do for these quarterbacks. We're seeing college quarterbacks come to the NFL and then learning versus NFL quarterbacks coming to the NFL level and then learning or advancing. So it's a little different.
Yeah, and I feel like we have more college players coming straight in, and they're like, "You're starting, you're doing stuff now."
Yeah.
Versus, like, take a year or two, like a little year off in Europe, go back, learn something.
A great example of that, I think, is Bo Nix. Look at Bo Nix. Look how much experience he had at Oregon.
Yeah.
He had 3 or 4 years of experience under center to learn a system, and now he got to the NFL level and went, I can run a system comfortably. I'm not worried about, how does this run? How does this operate?
Yeah.
That made it a lot, so I think we're seeing that maturity kind of come through. But we're digressing again.
Yeah.
JJ, hit us with your Debbie Downer.
My Debbie Downer AFC quarterback, Russell Wilson. Russell, you let me down again. You let me down. 9.8 fantasy points. Doesn't matter. It's not enough either way. 90% of snaps. That means his snaps have gone down 2 weeks in a row. He is ceding more snaps to Justin Fields. What's going on here? He threw the ball 28 times. He had 21 completions. That is 75% completion percentage, which is fan-fucking-tastic. 270 yards and a touchdown. 3 carries, 10 yards on the ground. Sacked 4 times. And guess what? He had a fucking fumble loss. That's his second in how many? 1, 2, 5 games. So, yeah, I'm just a little disappointed in my QB. Hope they can get it together because we have to play in Cincinnati this week in Week 13. Son of a bitch.
I hope for you.
Schmiegel, QB, Downer.
Got QB number 20 with 8.7 fantasy points. Gardner taming of the Minshew.
Wait a second.
What?
Your QB downer
QB 20.
had 8.7 fantasy points.
Yeah,
How many fantasy points did Will Levis have?
I hate you.
8.12, and he was your honorable mention for being good?
He had 120 something
You
passer rating.
dog shit. Oh my.
Yeah, I know this is fantasy related, but he had 120 passer rating. That's really good for them. Gardner Minshew, 42 attempts, which was the third highest for a quarterback this week. 1 touchdown, 230 yards. He threw to the other team once, took 3 sacks, 72.5 passer rating, 5th lowest of the week, which includes 2 wide receivers that were below him and 1 punter that was above him. So, yes, I get it. The points are, you want to go off of points, cool. But
you're on a fantasy football podcast. You know what I know you? You've had 2 beers too many.
Everything. He had 50 points lower in the passer rating. So I get it. The points are about even. But overall, it wasn't Levis's fault that he scored so low. He got sacked 1,000 times.
8 times and threw a pick 6. You're right. Not his fault.
Yeah. Well, you don't lose points for a pick 6. You lose points for the pick, which they both threw.
And you lose points for the 6.
You don't lose points for the 6.
Yes, you do.
We don't.
Yes, you do.
Jeez,
you don't even know the rules.
Yeah. My quarterbacks don't throw pick 6s. Because I have one. It's Josh Allen.
And he didn't play this week.
And he did not play. Cooper Rush led our game. Yeah, what the fuck?
Go ahead and kick us off with the running back sad face of the AFC this week, Shmi.
So, Denver, RB1, Javonte Williams.
Is he the RB1?
On the depth chart, he is. He had 8 touches for -2 yards.
Was that the most touches?
Bro, that's pros versus Joes. I don't remember that show. I'm pretty sure these guys could have got -2 yards. The only thing that saved his fantasy was 2 catches for 6 yards, giving him a grand total sadness of 2.4.
You remember Gladiators?
Oh, American Gladiators? Oh, yeah, 100%.
American Gladiators?
Yeah.
Great show.
And then I want to make sure I'm not stepping on toes, but I also had honorable mention our boy from Wisconsin, Jonathan Taylor.
No, nobody had him.
Yeah, 3.5 points, 11 carries, 35 yards.
Yeah, that was a tough week.
Sad face.
JJ, who you got for running back? Yeah, it looks like you're just going to be self-deprecating this week.
Yeah, I am. I'm floating in self-loathing.
Oh, it's same.
I went with none other than Mr. Najee Harris. Running back 24 on the season. 7.4 fantasy points against the Browns. He carried the ball 16 fucking times. He had 39% of the snaps, which is terrifying. Because old Jalen Warren actually outsnapped him, which is terrifying. 57% of snaps. He had 11 carries for 45 yards. But and he had a touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown. Najee, no touchdown, no fantasy points. 2 for 2 for 13 yards receiving. But like I said, I don't know why I have so many Steelers. It's stupid. I hate it.
I love that you brought that up.
I can't
because
trade them. No one
you
wants
have
them.
A bunch of Steelers.
And
Shmi, you have a bunch of Eagles, and I have a bunch of Rams.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
My running back downer of the week was Joe Mixon, 14 rushes for 22 yards. Talked about it earlier in the episode. Told you I was going to bring it up now. 5 receptions on 6 targets. That was the only thing that saved him, but this was his second worst game of the season. Tennessee has a great defense, no doubt, but Joe Mixon's utilization wasn't what he or I am used to, and it could be a correlation to their struggle in the game. Does seem like all things kind of flow through the run game to open up the pass game for CJ. Tennessee is good, but I don't think they're that good. But 22 yards is tough on 14 touches. So that was my Debbie Downer. And I'm going to roll right into the wide receiver. We had a sad face from Jonathan Taylor. We have another sad face from Josh Downs. This man was on a terror streak. For some reason, it just kind of fizzled this week, finishing with 5.7 fantasy points on 7 targets, 3 receptions, and 27 yards. They played a tough Detroit team, but big time players make big time plays, and Josh Downs was nowhere to be found when it mattered in this game, unfortunately. He will see New England next week, who struggles against the pass, so hopefully a bounce back week for him next week. That's kind of what I'm seeing. JJ, what do you think? Let's just continue the depression flow through you right now. Who's your...
It's George Pickens, man. He's wide receiver 17 of the season. He had 8.8 fantasy points against the Cleveland Browns. I'm sorry, look, okay. You know what? You know why I put him on here? He has been so sassy when fucking shit goes wrong. He just decides to take out the nearest DB in his area. You got to stop doing that shit. The NFL's investigating him. It sucks. But he had seven targets, 4 receptions, 48 yards. Boo. It's
he
so
just uses the nearest
hard
DB
to
as a
watch,
human
dude.
punching bag. It's hilarious.
He does. It literally goes after them. He's like, you know what? Fuck, we lost anyway. We lost by 5 motherfucking points. He's right. He was right. Did you hear his statement? He said I don't think the Browns are that good of a team. They're not. They're not that good. But we let Myles Garrett ruin that game.
Absolutely.
You did 100%.
He destroyed us because our offensive lineman, our center didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He was all over the place, not blocking a single human being.
I like it better that Jesse did 3 Steelers in a row, even though, Shmi, it looks like you have George Pickens for
I had George
down
Pickens,
at the wide receiver too.
but...
So let's go ahead and figure out a new one for you since you stole the tight end for
I did not see
now,
that you had
know?
George Pickens.
In my
karma.
Yeah, whatever, fudge them.
I thought I checked all your stuff.
Well, since I put Mike Will in over Jordan Addison, I'll just stick with the Steeler, which you can't really be angry because he also had 0 points last week. But
Still
when you come off the Chargers,
that was it.
Yeah, when you come off a team like the Chargers where you and Keenan Allen are both putting up decent points when you actually play, you think he's going to get something. No targets. 2 straight weeks.
Weird.
You may as well just quit.
Throw the ball.
Yeah, well,
it was a snow game.
But the second half was more explosive than the first half where points actually went up on the board. Pickens was just destroyed on like 3 different attempts and there's no flag. So I'm with Jesse. I'm like, I'd fight people too. Like you didn't get a call when you should have. That dude boxed him out with that. Like he turned to look for the ball and then just ran through George Pickens. Mike, you can't do that.
Yeah,
but
Shmi, move us over to your tight end.
So kind of a cop out, I guess. But going with the Raiders, Brock Bowers. He's the number 1 tight end of the year.
Wow.
Finishes with 7.8 points, 3rd lowest of the year. Finishes number 17 right now, and is beat by the likes of Jatavian Sanders and Hunter Henry.
And Jatavian Sanders got hurt. He left that game.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, you're the number 1 tight end. Like you said, it's a down year, but still, he's been putting up some pretty admirable
Having a
numbers.
historic rookie season again right after Sam Laporta.
It's crazy. Well, I mean,
how many receptions does he have on the season? Do you know? On
the season, I have to look it up. You guys roll into yours. I'll look it up.
Check.
Or we can do that.
Whatever. Right? And he has 74 receptions. 99 targets so far through 11 games. Holy shit.
Only 3 touchdowns.
It's wild. Oh, is it my turn to do tight end?
It is your turn.
Okay, I'm going to talk about Dalton Schultz, who I talked about earlier, because Cade Stover is taking over. Dalton Schultz is a better blocking tight end, and he's old as shit. 28 years old.
Is that old, though, for tight end?
No, it's a good age if you're good, but he's not that good anymore. I don't know what happened to him. He was good with the Cowboys. He's not good with the Texans, though. But yeah, I think Cade Stover is definitely a better receiving tight end. I think Dalton Schultz is a more like utility tight end. That's why he gets as much playing time as he does, but he doesn't get as many receptions nearly or targets as Cade did. I think Cade had twice as many.
Are you putting in a waiver wire claim for Cade Stover?
I might as well.
Because so am I.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, Blake's only got like $8. Yeah, Blake's at $8.
I have $5.
You do have money.
$5. So, well, bet 6.
So, do you think, like, truthfully, going forward, he's going to be the
I will tell you
tight end
right
one?
now how much I put in on him.
$5.
Everything you
No,
have.
no,
$3.
$1.
$1.
$1, Bob. I still put 6. I don't trust Blake.
$1 in the off. Okay. You know what? I hope that I put in 5 and you put in 2 just for the chance that we can come back and talk about this next week. But I put in $1.
$1, Bob.
$1, Bob.
I picked up Cade Stover at the end of the season or at the end of the draft this year, and he's one of those guys that I held on to, but I kind of needed to make room. Dalton Schultz was there, so he's one of those guys that I have been going back and forth with on and off. So if I can get him there and hold him, maybe. You know what I mean? We're waiting for him to kind of pop.
It's like a unhealthy relationship. I like you, but I don't like you. But I like you, but I don't like you.
I love
Like
you.
all of your relationships.
Nah, I usually cut ties and never go back.
Just
I still talk to people. I talk to them, but I just don't ever reignite the flames. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I have a small sample size.
That's what she said.
Hey, bazinga!
Ka-tow.
All right, and we're gonna move into my tight end sad face of the week, which is David Njoku coming off a monster performance last week. This week in the snow was rather underwhelming. He had 1 catch for 9 yards, and it happened to be a 2-point conversion, so he's able to sneak out 3.9 fantasy points. But aside from that, it was largely irrelevant all game. Finished tight end 30-ish on the week this week. Now we lost Will Dissly, we just watched Will Dissly play. We just saw Mark Andrews have a monster game, a winning performance for myself, and he's got Denver and Pitt coming up as well. So those are tough matchups. I think bad week for Mr. David Njoku. And I'm going to close things out for us on the IDP side. Jalen Petrie, usually a solid DB, consistent week to week. This week, 1 tackle. 1 tackle. Finishing with only 2 points. That hurts anyone who plays him. This is a guy who's rostered in 69% of leagues, so to see 1 tackle performance hurts, especially coming off a 6 straight double-digit week type performances. So Jalen Petrie hurts.
Houston?
Out of Houston, yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Number 5, in case you're curious and you want to pay attention to all that type of shit. Great question, Shmi.
Yeah. He's young too.
He is.
Like 23, 24 maybe.
He was a monster last year, but I'm excited for this next one. JJ, go ahead and hit us with your downer IDP.
Self-deprecation.
Tell me how the Super Bowl defending champion Kansas City Chiefs roll into Carolina and should have really lost this game, truthfully. They looked awful. Carolina, their defense came to play. But Mr. Nick Bolton. Well, I really thought, dude, it's so weird what has happened to him this year. I mean, he's got 62% of the snaps.
Bum.
4 tackles, half a sack. That's half a bagel, baby. That ain't shit.
You could put together a YouTube montage of all the times that I fucking ran that dude's name through the mud.
I know, now I'm doing it too.
That dude's a straight duck.
I don't know what happened to him. He's
garbage,
still 82%
dumpster fire.
But he's 24.
Shit. He is. He's very young.
Yeah,
do you think
really
that? I mean, he was
a monster last year.
Yeah.
He does have the. Let's see, Raiders in week 13, Chargers week 14, Browns 15.
He was
Texans
on like
16,
Olaquan, Zaire Franklin, Roquan Smith type level numbers.
He was in that
year.
tier, right? Yeah, he definitely was in that tier.
Yeah,
he was the guy, number 1 IDP coming into the year.
But he has been so disappointing, man.
Is it everybody else on that team who's been picking it up, or has he been falling off? Because I know they got Leo Chenal.
Watch the film. I don't know what it is. He's on that fucking Eddie Lacy diet. Homie is slow. He's a big, thick dude now. He's just slow to everything. I don't know. He's late to I don't know. I don't like it. I watched the film and I was like, ooh, I do not want this guy. But Shmi, close us out. We have another disappointing performance from a guy who's been a great fiend this year.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had to get rid of him last year due to cuts, but got Robert Spillane of the Raiders.
Bobby Spillane.
Who, you might ask? Here's a quick catch-up. Dude has 2 games registered for the year at under 100% snap count. one of which was 99% of the snaps. I don't know how you get there because you don't play 100 snaps in a game. How many 10 tackle games? Sorry. How many 10 tackle games does he have? 7. Was this one of those weeks? Nope. He also had 5 total tackles, tying his lowest of the year. Finished below 10 points, never this year, until this week where he got 8. So another one of those monster linebackers who just sort of is always around, always doing stuff, and then kind of just disappeared.
Love that. Those are our Debbie Downers, our sad Susies, our
Sad
turned
Susie.
down
Disappointed
Tracy's. I don't know.
Dominique's.
There you go. Hey, all inclusive. I'm here for it. We are going to
Farmers.
do our essential starts of the week for week 13 to close things out. We're going to go right down in order. QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end, IDP. I'm going to start us off. I'm going quarterback, Bo Nix against Cleveland. Bo's been balling, and we haven't given him enough respect, I don't think. So I'm saying against Cleveland, even though we said Cleveland's a giant killer, I think that Bo will prevail, and maybe we'll see a shootout with Jameis, or Bo will just walk all over him. So let's stay tuned with that. Give me Bo Nix. JJ, who you got?
Is Bo at home?
Fantastic question. I don't care. Give me Bo Nix.
Okay. CJ Stroud is my quarterback. Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars in Duval, who's ranked 32nd in points allowed to the quarterback position. Listen, Jacksonville Jaguars have had a rough season after Khan. I don't know the owner's name.
Shaka Khan.
Omar
Khan, something like that.
I think it's Omar Khan.
He said that this is the best roster they've ever assembled. Clearly, he was not using his glasses. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing what CJ Stroud can do against the Jacksonville Jaguars, considering back in week 4, put up the best numbers he's put up all season with 21.5 fantasy points in week 4. CJ threw the ball 40 times. That was at home in Houston at NRG Stadium. This week, they'll be in Jax, which shouldn't be a problem, but keep an eye on the weather, right? If it's a bad weather game, which can get rainy in Jacksonville, I lived there for 4 years. You already know that if you listen to me ever, but you probably don't. I think we can expect another 20-point performance in Week 13 in a bounce-back game against another division opponent who is ass.
Love to see it. Shmi, hit us with your quarterback essential start of the week.
I have Jay Herbs. Struggled early in the year, but after that bye week in week 5, there's been an uptick production. He's never finished with lower than 15 the last 4 weeks, and he's playing against Atlanta, which I expect to see some pretty good fireworks going.
Love that. Hit us with your running back right away.
Running back, we have CMC Dynamite. He's the number 1 running back from last year. There's no way he doesn't bounce back. And he's going against your favorite defense for running backs, the Buffalo Bills.
No shot. The Bills let up way too many points against running back. No way that CMC doesn't have a 20-plus performance.
Yeah.
Great pick. JJ, who you got for your running back?
All right, I didn't go for the layup, which I usually never do, and it bites in the ass. But I went with Rachaad White against the Carolina Panthers, who just stopped Kareem Hunt and that whole backfield, which is trash. But I think that getting Rachaad White involved in the passing game, it's been kind of a back and forth thing with him and Bucky. But Bucky is truly, I think, the RB1 there. But the problem is, I don't know. I feel like they've got to watch his snap count, right? Because I don't want him to get injured, so I'm not going to run him. And especially if you've got 2 outstanding backs like you do. I know Rachaad White's not very efficient on the ground, but when it comes to through the air, that's the way to go. So, but yeah, little brother Bucky had a great week in week 12. We talked about him earlier in the happy section, but I do think that this week I'm going to go with Rachaad White. He's my essential start of the week. And I think you should start him if you had him.
Love it. My essential start of the week for running back this week is Kyren Williams against New Orleans. Kyren hasn't really been his normal self. He's had some tough matchups, and I think we see a return to form against a soft New Orleans defense. This offense has been back, I guess, a little bit for New Orleans, so potentially they can keep it close, which we should see the utilization for Kyren out of the backfield a bit as well. So my pick is Kyren Williams. For the wide receiver side of the house, I'm going Josh Downs. I'm trying to step out of my box a little. and not take the easy guesses here. No layups. So I want to give our listeners, some options. So he's facing New England, who's been struggling against the pass, and I think Indy will be able to get the run game going to hopefully open up some of the pass game for Anthony Richardson to get this guy in some space and let him work. JJ, who do you got for wide receiver?
My wide receiver is Cortland Sutton of the Denver Broncos, playing Cleveland this week. I've been hyping him up quite a bit this season. I'm a big fan of his. I know for Dynasty it doesn't really matter, but for a playoff contending team, hey, that's the way to go. They are at home, like I said, because you already mentioned Bo Nix is your essential starter of the week. Ranked 29th in points allowed to the wide receiver position, so that's why I'm going with Cortland Sutton in week 13, baby.
Love it.
Come
Shmi,
on,
who do you
we'll
got for your
see.
wide receiver?
Damn, I like yours with Josh Downs because you're going to have Christian Gonzalez trying to lock up Pittman. I went Draco London with Draco, young receiver, number 8 on the year right now, and I'm expecting 20 plus. He's only finished below 10 twice this year, and one was week 1 against the Steelers. So,
Love that. Hit us
yeah.
with your tight end as well right away. We'll snake it back up.
Like I said, tight end, number 1 of the year, Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers.
Yeah. I mean, finished under 10 3 times this year. Looks to have a pretty good matchup against division rival Chiefs. I think he bounces back after being our sad face.
Interesting.
Yeah.
JJ, who do you got for tight end?
My tight end is I'm gonna go with Cade Otton, guys. He had a down week too, but it's kind of been that way this year with tight ends, which often it is. Kind of back and forth. You hope for those spike games, but like I said, the Carolina Panthers are ranked last in the league. They give it the most points to the tight end position, but also you look at I guess if you look at the Chiefs last week in week 12, they gave up a bunch of points to both Kelsey and it's Noah Gray, right?
Noah Gray, correct.
Yeah,
Noah Gray.
I always get that mixed up. But
Very
hey,
interesting.
so I'm looking for Cade Otton to score some fantasy points, baby.
Love that. My tight end central start of the week is Jonnu Smith against Green Bay. The Pack has not defended well against the tight end this season, and given the weapons that Miami has, I think Green Bay will not make Jonnu as big a focal point as some of the other weapons, allowing him to have some wiggle room. I think he's a safe start for next week. Closing things out for me at the IDP position, I'm going Zach Bond, bounce back week, baby. Against a run-heavy Baltimore Ravens team, I'd expect a 10-tackle minimum week for him. JJ, who do you got for your IDP to close things out?
My IDP essential start of the week for week 13 is Zaire Franklin, who's currently leading the league once again. I think I'll have to double check Raquan Smith's tackles, but I'm pretty sure
Raquan was out today.
Oh, I did not see that. Zaire Franklin, man, hey, leading the league, 123 tackles through 11 games because they've already had their bye. He had 8 solo tackles and 5 assisted tackles for a total of 13 tackles, tied with Kevin Byard on the week, who had 13 total tackles as well. So look for assisted tackles to increase this week against the Patriots, and that offensive line being as bad as it is. Zaire and EJ Speed together, I think that tandem they're going to eat.
Nasty. Shmi, last but not least, wrap us up.
The greatest. I got our boy from our favorite football family, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, T.J. Watt. He's in the game. Did he just disappear against the Browns? Yes. Does he get to play against a turnstile offensive line this week against the Bengals? Oh, fudge yeah. Best way to get over a tough division loss is to destroy the bejesus of another divisional team. And I think he will do just that this week with Joey Burr just getting pummeled.
That's what the North
love
does.
That.
Yeah.
TJ Watt, we love to see it. Great choice. Do we have any wrapping up questions? Anything for the folks at home? What do you got for us, JJ?
Okay.
Check the notes.
Okay.
Let me see here. Let me look at my.
While he looks that up, so we have Shahid Rafiq or Shad Khan is the Bengals owner.
Shad Khan, not
Omar.
It's not Shaka Khan?
It is also not Shaka Khan. Yeah, fudge sickle.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Uh-oh.
So I have a couple teams that I wrote down. Which teams do you think are quarterback needy teams in 2025?
The Giants, the Raiders.
Raiders. Oh, yeah. Raiders are mine.
I got Giants, Jets, Raiders, possibly Seattle Seahawks. I don't know what's up with Geno.
What?
Sam Howell's still there?
Why you got the Jets? I'm curious. I'm sorry.
I don't think that Aaron's gonna be there next year.
You don't. So they picked Jordan Travis off of FSU, who was injured
When did they pick him?
this year.
Yeah, but
Well,
what
which
round?
round?
Oh, I have no idea. But
Look at the
I
success
think
rate
Jordan
for any
Travis was a
quarterback.
4th round pick.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was a solid quarterback before he.
I mean, other than fucking
after
Brock
this
Purdy, I
leg,
don't know.
yeah.
I mean, Brock Purdy was a 7th round pick, but I'm just saying I don't know about that.
171st overall.
Divided by
Yeah,
3.
it's
That's
4th
like
round, right? Almost 5th round.
4. Yeah.
But listen,
But-
I still
He's
think
5th
that
round
they're
pick.
gonna. Well, let's look at their record too, right? Where are they at right now? Let me see.
I don't think the
they
Jets
are
take a quarterback.
3. They're
No.
3-8.
The Jets again are a bad organization. I don't think they pick a quarterback.
They got to figure out their front office first before they can figure out the rest of the team.
We're gonna see another bad Jets team next week.
Yep.
Or next year, I mean.
And then you said the Niners with Brock Purdy situation?
No.
I think they
I
pay
didn't say
Purdy.
that, but
Okay.
so I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah. What about
I don't
the
know. I don't know if they pay Purdy.
Panthers? Panthers move on from Bryce Young?
I don't think they do. If he continues to play the way he is right now, I don't think they do. I think they
Okay.
continue running with Bryce Young.
I think the Panthers and the Colts are kind of stuck with their quarterbacks. They either develop or they die. That's kind of where they're at. But because I know Indianapolis is another one that's like, do they go get a quarterback? Does Pittsburgh take a quarterback? I see a lot of mock drafts with Pittsburgh taking a quarberback. That
a good
doesn't make
idea.
sense to me.
I see
It
a
does
lot
not,
of
yeah.
mock drafts with Jalen Milroe going to the Steelers.
But you
Fuck.
talked,
Why?
but you talked
Okay.
about him, and I'm not.
I would.
hate
There's
him.
so many other
Yeah.
needs. I think that
That
we
That doesn't
have.
mean that teams aren't going to make poor decisions and draft
Yeah.
him.
I don't even know who the Seahawks
I don't know if
are
we've made a
QB2
good.
is.
The
I hated
last-
Caleb Williams, and he went 1st overall. Look at him now.
The good
Uh-huh.
decision that we did make in drafting anybody was Joey Porter Jr. With that
Oh,
2nd round
I
pick
like
from
him
Chase
so much.
Claypool. He's so good.
Do you know what really bothers me? The Eagles.
Yeah.
They're very good. They're
Dude,
very good.
You got both DBs.
Oh shit! Did you see Brandon Graham's out for the season?
Yeah, torn
That's
tricep.
a big hit. That's a
Did you
big
see the
hit.
interview that they were like, "Oh, you're joking," and he
He's
was
like,
like, "No, I tore my tricep.
I'm
Like, I'm
fucking
done."
done. Yeah. Oh, it sucks, dude.
But
Okay, well,
the
all right.
fact that they got Quinyon Mitchell and they got
Yeah.
Cooper DeJohn, that's so frustrating.
Yeah. They're both what? They weren't both first round, were they?
Oh yeah, both 1st and 2nd round, I think.
They're their first 2 picks. Yeah. We could have had them, but I like who we got.
Of the teams that we think,
You know who's
are,
irrelevant?
Sorry.
Kool-Aid.
McKinstry, yeah. Big name.
I mean, he's still recovering from the ACL. Remember, we talked about that first year after the ACL.
We did. I don't know how it works for DBs, honestly.
I think
don't know how bad
give
it
him a
is.
chance. Give him a chance because it does seem like defenders they don't heal as quickly and return to the game like offensive players do.
Is he the one that ran the 40 with a broken toe?
Shaquille Leonard's like the perfect
Yes.
example of that.
Okay. When the hell did he tear his ACL then? After that?
I don't
Who?
know.
Kool-Aid.
It's hard to keep track of all
He
these
ran the
things.
40 with a broken toe.
I think he did it at the end of the year, like in the Senior Bowl or some shit like that.
But he was in the combine, I thought, wasn't he?
He didn't run or do anything in the combine.
Where the fuck did that 40 time come from?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know.
But yeah, we got one more quarterback needy team. You want to get out there or no?
I was just gonna say, of the quarterback needy teams, what do you think they do? Like, so you don't think the Jets are gonna draft a quarterback?
I
think
don't.
the Giants are gonna draft a quarterback? The Raiders are gonna draft a quarterback?
Well, we talked about the Giants last episode. I think they trade up to try to get Shador.
I mean, they may not.
But they might not even need to trade up.
Yeah.
Doesn't have an ACL injury.
Yeah, I say he had a broken toe.
No, he had a hamstring injury.
Hamstring?
McKinstry.
Yeah, Kool-Aid.
Oh, cool. Okay, it was a hamstring. I'm sorry. I thought it was an ACL.
No.
Okay,
That's all
good.
legs.
That's good. Well, yeah. I mean, give him some time. He's a young buck. He's a rookie, right?
He plays for the Saints, so
Yeah. They got a good secondary, so
they
it's
did.
good to learn from. Okay. So, what about the Rams?
I mean, they got Stetson Bennett. as a backup who's old as shit. He was good
Yeah.
in college, but he just happens to be 30 already.
I think they have Jimmy Garoppolo for the Rams.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
I think we've
we have to
named all
think
the
landscape,
quarterback
right? Like,
legitimate
how many
teams.
quarterbacks they have.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think because, like, I don't think that the Vikings re-sign Sam Darnold. So I think it's probably
I
best
think
that the
there's a very
Vikings.
real world that they run with Sam Darnold again.
I think
I
they
would do that,
trade
yeah.
Sam Darnold. They
I think
traded
there's.
for him, right? And I mean, he's going to be like another Josh Dobbs to me, where he's just.
Do you
like,
know what's crazy?
"Oh."
If you have this season that you do with Sam Darnold, and then you either trade him away or don't start him, and your team and you watch your team go down, and you have a mediocre season next year, you are a direct line of fire next year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's very hard to be in this position and walk away while you have Sam Darnold winning the way he is and throwing the football the way he is. It's almost circumstantial that you have to keep running with him until he fucks it up.
That's so interesting to me.
Yeah, because
Well, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense because JJ just had another surgery on his knee,
and he's young.
and that's. I mean, that's just going to give him more time to,
Yeah.
heal and get.
Plus, you're in a division where you just watch
rehabilitated. And,
Aaron Rodgers mold a Jordan Love. You have, Jared Goff and these guys with Hendon Hooker. That's up to like, you're in a division that's doing this, minus the Bears, obviously, because they're bad at everything.
Yeah.
But you're in a division that's doing this and molding good quarterbacks. Like, maybe just like don't. You know what I mean? Play the slow game. Run with a team that's winning football games right now with a quarterback that's winning games. If you pull Sam Darnold or do something stupid with him and your team goes downhill, you're in the line of fire, like direct line.
Yeah, and then what if next year Caleb Williams is the Heisman player, the first-round draft pick that everybody thought he was going to be? Then you have 3 legit other opponents in your division that are all threats.
Yeah,
and then you sit them and you're like, oh shit. But yeah, why is Josh Dobbs not starting somewhere? That annoys me.
he is literally on the bench for the 49ers. I don't know
Here's
why.
the problem with Josh Dobbs. He comes out, has a good 2 or 3 games, and then immediately is a mediocre quarterback for the follow-on games. He is not more than an average quarterback. Don't get that twisted.
You know who could use him? The Raiders.
The Jets, the Raiders.
The Jets got A-Raj. Yeah.
Hey, do you think that...
I mean, like right now. Right now.
Shell of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to get cut or released?
Rodgers?
He's got 1 more year, I think, on his contract.
I mean, they waste money all the time. It's the
they don't care.
Jets.
Yeah. At least they're not paying $80 million.
Bro, we just watched a team cut Daniel or release Daniel.
No, they're
Jones.
like, Robert Saleh, you're a horrible coach. You're fired. We're going to pay you $20,000 a day. Fuck, okay. I like to throw away money. Not.
Yeah, bro, we just watched Daniel Jones get released.
Yeah, that's
27 or $29 million cap hit. They don't care about money.
Like, where does he go now? No, he already cleared waivers. No one put in a waiver for his.
He cleared waivers today, I think.
Yeah.
Did he get re-signed this year or last year for that big contract?
It was.
I thought it was this year.
This year, it was a $22 million cap hit. $22 million dead cap hit, but the reason why it was $22 million is because the Giants were actually smart and they put a fucking injury clause in his contract.
But JJ, this was a wonderful question. We digressed so much. We do need to wrap up and close things out. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We will see you next time. Like, comment, subscribe, smash all them buttons. We'll see you next time.